Welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel, where I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. The thing is, every day is routine for me. I wake up, actually kind of late usually, don't tell my boss, and I work my work from home, 9 to 5, every day, and then I get off, I eat, I do my chores, I'm too tired to have fun, and I go to bed. I'm sure I'm not the only one who wishes that they could go back to being a kid and not having to do chores, to think of what I'm gonna make for dinner today, to think of what I need to buy for my grocery list, and then forgetting like half of it because my memory's terrible now, and I'm not even 30. Anyway, I'm sure we all wish we could go back to our childhood. My plan for myself is to use some of that time I use doom scrolling and rotting on my couch to relearn my old favorite. And because I work my 9 to 5 every day, I still don't have enough money for hobbies. So I picked Yu-Gi-Oh because it seems like the easiest to learn for free. There's so many videos online. And there's something called Master Duel. Master Duel, which is free to play. It reminds me of Duel Links, which I briefly attempted to play, but I didn't get very far. I don't remember a lot of what I did in that game. But I'm here to commit now. That's what I'm about, committing. Like I said, I'm almost 30. It's time to commit to Yu-Gi-Oh, to our inner child, who I'm trying to embrace because I've ignored her for far too long. And let's get into it, hopefully. I hope I can find that sound. It's time to...
It's time to duel!
So technically not time to duel yet, since I hadn't set up my account, so this is me doing that. Here I watched it in the past because this is why I'm here. I saw it when I was a child. Here I had a little bit of a debate in my head, but I played it in the past because, technically I played it a little bit with my brother. We didn't know the rules, but we played it. And I used Duel Links in college to try and relearn Yu-Gi-Oh as I was older, but I was just too busy to keep learning, so I basically forgot about the app, and then I deleted it off my phone when I found it later and I needed more space for other stuff. This first practice duel actually made me feel a little bit better because I mostly knew what they were trying to teach us in this one. Like I said, I played Yu-Gi-Oh before, so I knew the basics. I was mostly just trying to get down the controls for Master Duel and trying to figure out where I was supposed to click. You can see me hovering longer than normal when cards come up because I was mostly just trying to read them, which is pretty much the only way that I know how to duel. When my brother and I would play, we would literally just take every card that we had and just split them up into 2 stacks, and each would be our deck, and then we would just pick them from there and try to duel, which usually didn't work out very well because half the time it would take you 10 draws to get to a monster card. But yeah, this first practice duel was super easy, as they're meant to be, I assume. They're just practice duels for you to learn. So that went well. The second practice duel made me realize that I get really confused about when you should or can play a spell or versus a trap card, I'm still kind of confused on that. I'm gonna have to work on that. Here I am once again taking 20 years to read one of my cards. I mean, it tells me exactly what to do with it, but I feel like I need to learn and read exactly what it does. I think my biggest pet peeve during the practice duels like these is you don't get a lot of freedom to click around or like look at a lot of the cards, so I'm just doing what they tell me to do, but I'm not really learning that much, I feel like. I did kind of click around here. I don't remember what I was trying to do, but I was probably just confused. Watching it back, I feel like the goal was probably just for me to see like timing of trap cards, which I still kind of really don't understand, but I was so slow about it because I didn't understand what was happening or why I was activating it, so sometimes it would just take me a second. At this point, I've read a new card and I already forgot about my trap card and what I read about it, so I'm surprised that I can activate it from the graveyard. I'm not the sweet summer child, I'm more just like the village idiot. At least that's how it's making me feel at this point. But it all turns out okay in the end because it's, a practice duel and I'm supposed to win. I enjoyed this a lot more because I'm pretty sure they turned me free, they turned me loose in this one, so I got to sit and read all my cards for hours. That was enjoyable. They told me I learned the basics of Duelist, which I thought was funny. I figured should have said basics of dueling, but I mean Duelist, same thing, same difference. I'm always gonna try and summon the strongest monster first. I feel like that's probably what everyone does. I feel like dueling probably didn't change that much since I last dueled, but here's me debating whether or not I'm supposed to use or set spells and traps yet. I ended up setting one of my traps. I guess this is probably just a normal struggle in Yu-Gi-Oh, but I kept debating on when was the best time to activate my trap. I decided not to just then because I'm pretty sure that card was specifically for spell cards, but how much do I really know? I kept wanting to, I was curious to see if I could tell if what I just destroyed, but I wasn't sure, and then it always felt like everything was going so fast, I absolutely had no idea what was happening here. I'm never sure what cards are activating and when, unless I have specifically activated a card. And in here, I was really curious about what a tuner is. I already know that they're the new summons, the various types of summons. I only remember ritual summons and fusion summons, I think, from when I was younger. But I realize now that there are a lot more summons that I don't know about that I'm gonna definitely have to study up on. Here's me just feeling like I'm absolutely about to destroy my opponent, feeling like a master duelist. I'm clearly not. This is just a joke. But I mean, I did win, so. So after this, they let me pick a deck. And I'm kind of just now realizing that I think they were offering me decks with different types of summons. But I picked Power of the Dragon because Blue Eyes is the only one I recognized. And it brings out the nostalgia that I'm chasing, so I grabbed it. I think this is focused on fusion summoning anyway, which is also the only summoning that I know from the 3. Me perusing my missions now that I'm a master duelist. I know I sound super egotistic, but don't worry, I definitely do get humbled later. I was so excited about the another duelist icon. I thought that was so funny. I'm just another duelist. I, of course, immediately donned my another duelist icon. Iconic. And there's my duelist ID in case you guys want to follow me and see if I've learned anything, if I've brought my inner child out yet. This is me getting excited because I got a card for changing my icon to another duelist. Honestly, getting a card that I recognized kind of made me realize that I want to make it a goal to build a deck that's actually functional and playable. I'm not going to say good, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I want to make one that I can play that has just a ton of old cards in it. I hope that that's possible. And I think I'll probably have to buy some structure decks in the future just to get me started, or at least to get some cards. But I'm gonna find out a way to just get a ton of old cards and see what I can do. Ugh, pendulum summons. I've heard of that. Doesn't sound fun, but let me not judge. Let me not be snobby yet. I'll be snobby after I've learned how terrible it is. Or not. It might not be terrible, but I'm skeptical. So although I finished the tutorial, I wasn't super ready to start dueling an actual person, so I moved on to more solo duels. And in Duel Restart, there were actually a couple more tutorials before this first practice duel that they let me do, but it was pretty self-explanatory. I feel like it wasn't anything too crazy, so I didn't show that. I actually felt pretty confident starting out this duel because I had what I thought was a really good monster and some cool trap cards, so I thought I was doing really well. Then they hit me with a fissure and I lost my monster. I mean, I realize this is the beginning of the duel, but it basically all goes downhill from here. Here I'm thinking, man, I could really use a monster card. At this point, I really was just thinking that I need to get rid of all his monsters before he just murders me, before I can get anything out. But looking back, I don't think this was my best move. And then obviously the monster comes back because I just sent it to the top of the deck. I didn't do anything with it, so I have to waste another trap card. And I'm thinking, okay, this is my chance. I can just draw a monster card, right? I can get a monster out. The rest of this is just really hard to watch. Me just trying to figure out Silver's cry and how it works. Oh, it's terrible. It's painful, actually. The whole time I just thought it was, oh, I don't know when or how to activate it. I thought, oh, it's a quick play spell. Maybe I'm confused on when I can activate it. I ended up setting it, and you can see me just like desperately clicking on it to see if I could activate it. I just sat here rereading it over and over again, not knowing why I couldn't get it to work. This is me still trying to figure out when I can activate it. It took me so long. I will go into the next turn still thinking that I can activate this card. I'm just getting wrecked and being confused. Then it's my turn again. I think, oh, okay, I'll get a monster card now. It's something that I have to injure myself to use. Just my luck. Now let's listen to me still clicking on this card. I think you can see the exact moment where I realized I messed up.
You're a third-rate duelist.
At this point, I'm feeling thoroughly defeated. I decided to activate this because I was gonna take the damage anyway, so. And if you're thinking, oh, don't worry, you have another draw phase, maybe you'll draw something good. Think again. Watch me pitifully scroll through my cards to see if there's anything I can do before just ending my turn, because there is nothing that I can do. I don't think it's a spoiler alert to tell you I didn't win, but let's watch to see how miserably I lost.
So obviously I have a long way to go in regards to learning how to duel. This is gonna be a wild ride, isn't it? Hope you stick around. I'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure. I'll see y'all